seed money back. So I overachieved with one that didn't do me any good. We got a couple of minutes before the second hand strikes. That clock's dead again. We gotta get it. Ted, how are you today? Yeah, no, it's pushing all the junk out of the bucket. I like it very good. I know all the stuff we always cleared out. Hopefully we won't find other duels in the back of the tractor.
We didn't have was a bit good.
That'd be slick. We sleep down here. Although they do, you know, pull the blades and buy it, they like to swim stuff over the line. We're sleeping on the shoe.
I talked to a guy.
That's what you should make some money.
He was.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'll call this regular scheduled meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Board to order. It's the 11th day of October 2022. Let the record reflect it is 8:30 a.m. and we're in the Hill County courtroom in the Hill County Courthouse, Hillsborough, Texas. This meeting is available both publicly online and in person. Anybody signed up by 8 o'clock, somebody can speak online? Okay, we still have the opportunity to speak in person. At this time, is there anybody here from Hillsborough Ministerial Alliance this morning? If not, Mr. Blake, calling you, give us communication.
Heavenly Father, we thank you this day for all the things that you've done for us. Thank you for the pretty weather we've had. We would like a little rain to come along with it. Be with our court today as we go through the business, attempt to make the county a better place, and make more people happy. Jesus' name we pray.
Falling in place, America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being with us this morning. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. Mr. McGovern, what's going on? We're going to precinct 1.
Well, I don't need any rain, but you do, but I'm trying to finish up Asphalt Road, pretty good, got a couple of guys. Under the weather and out, and so we're kind of running short-handed, but we're trying to do basically on what we got and get it done before winter sets in. This road, these paved roads have not been attended to in several years as we concentrated on the gravel road.
Yeah, you got that handful for a while. We did. Well, glad to see it. Also, up at Huron last Friday, while you had done good on that barns, that's looking really slick over there.
Barn's looking really good. We're putting together everything for the ESD to put in a big water tank, so we're trying to get all that done, trying to coordinate pulling the well to get it going. We had a couple of little fires last week, the week before last, that you could have used some water. Somebody had something come loose on their truck. It was setting grass fires about every 25 feet down the road from West all the way nearly on barn.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about this.
So we're trying to keep everything motivated.
2 wheels, good deal. Mr. Cropper, what's going on in precinct 2 this morning?
I was still staying busy working on 2203, putting down some recycled asphalt. It's time consuming, but and all that as we go, but I think it'll stay in place before the weather turns. Hope we get one big gravel on it to keep it in place. If you don't, it's going to dry out. But I did go by Mr. Andrew's office yesterday, and it's a big improvement from what they had.
It's
a great improvement.
Quite the improvement from what they had.
Yeah, it looked good.
Making us proud over there. Commissioner Hawkins was doing precinct 3 this morning.
Well, we're still shredding grass and cutting sea cane, and sea cane starting to head out and lay over, and was hitting with the mirrors and things. So getting those cut back and finished up on the dirt road that we rocked last week, last Friday. People moving out and getting more and more population out there.
Yeah, getting more neighbors.
Getting more neighbors, that's for sure. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Lake, what's going on precinct 4?
We're trying to get the bridge, the new bridge up here, and people can get across it. Good. That's about 15 foot on one side of the road and about 33 inches on the other side. I mean, 15 inches, not 30.
What's that, man? That's a bridge you put in there, sir.
Anyway, it's gonna take quite a bit of dirt and gravel to get it level up where people can get across it. It looks good.
Okay, three-step bridge.
Yeah, beams are like 34 inches. Under the bridge.
All right. Sheriff, what's happening in the sheriff's office this weekend?
Certain last state of residents, not girls and and the rest of that, and human trafficking, traffic stop under the bridge, juveniles. There will be in traffic, two juveniles.
Good job.
Arrests were made on those.
Good deal, good deal. You said some drugs. I heard it was a half pound of meth. Is that accurate?
Yes.
That's an insane amount. Wow.
That was from the search. There was another house stop, traffic stop, that was seen in the search.
Well, kudos, Sheriff. Good job taking that stuff off the street. We appreciate it. Tom, what's going on in emergency management today?
Communicate radios. We
Big job.
happy to announce as of Friday morning. Our infrastructure core is 100% in place and functional. We haven't turned on the PA or broadcast yet because we're waiting on two things: the antennas to be put on the towers. That's a small detail, and then the FCC paperwork is still.
You volunteered to climb the towers, right? If I recall correctly.
Judge, I tell you what I'll do, I'll fly the drone up there and make sure it's attached properly. How about that? No, I'm not getting any higher than this one, right? But it was a long week last week. We worked closely with the engineering team from David Wells. And I mean, it went very smooth. Monday was a bit stressful when we started finding things we didn't have and should have. But it all came together by the end of the week. It's quite impressive. I mean, it's a lot of equipment, but it's going to be nice when we get it totally turned up.
Good deal. Good. Huge improvement where we're at. Anything in the council this morning?
Global business.
Good deal. All right. What's going on with ESD1 this morning?
Well, we discuss that later. We got a slim chance of winning this week.
Well, that's some conversations we've had behind the scene that maybe not next week, the week after we meet again, the
Yeah.
burn ban's probably going to be on the agenda at that point.
If we don't get any more through this week, we're gonna need it out there because we are totally dry.
Yeah.
And the cracks are big enough, I lose the food with them.
Yes, sir.
So, it's that time of year.
Okay, well, we'll keep with you on that one. We'll let you work with you. Hopefully it rains and we avoid it, but I'm thinking that we better make plans just to go ahead and have it. on the
Cool
agenda.
weather is helping us, but we haven't, and the dryness is not, and they're beginning to cut the hot, and all that's doing is put more fuel down on the ground.
There you go. All right, well, from this chair today then, oh, forgive me, any other elected or appointed official department head have anything you need to share with us this morning? Yeah, go ahead. The SB2 was
Just
good.
for the court's information and constable information. We have ordered the AED in the fall back to the constable. They're on back order and they can't tell us when they're coming
We've got a couple
in.
of projects like that. So we thank you so much for doing that. We really appreciate ESD2.
Say your thanks and go and get them in.
All right.
We'll make it.
Will
We
do.
also closed on a property in 35 South Abbott
Okay,
for future location for ambulance station. And our ambulance station here on my way out drive is so close to completion that we can just take it. You know, we've got some minor things we've got to do. In fact, we're already meeting in the meeting room.
Okay.
So hopefully Carolina get moved in the next couple of weeks.
will y'all let us know when you have an open house out there? We'd love to come see it, and I'm sure the public would too.
We'll do it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Duncan, appreciate that. Any other department, elected official appointed? No? All right, real quick from this chair, construction. So projects continue to move along. There's been a holdup over at the AgriLife building. They've had some plumbing issues, so that one of those plumbing issues is connecting to the sewer out there. Well, the sewer goes to the parking lot, which slows down the flat work, which slows down the concrete guys, which means you can't get everything in and done. So hopefully over the weekend, it sounds like, and I need to go out and look this afternoon, that they've got the plumbing issues resolved. So they can lay back into that flat work around the building and then start laying sheetrock on the inside. Otherwise, pretty impressive what they've done in there and how it's coming together. Over Covington Street, again, they're hanging sheetrock in there. The electricians went back in, corrected the minor issues, made some adjustments we asked to make. And then they're moving forward with hanging sheetrock in that building. You'll notice on the outside, the red iron's up, the first part of the roof is going on, and now they're studying out those outside walls around there in steel. So you'll see that progress pretty rapidly. They've got they have the fiber cable, the AT&T network cable that was installed last week regarding the building. I think the next thing is to cut across the road. That's Walnut Street, where the contractors are coordinating, industry, our contracting agent is coordinating with the city. They're going to cut that and just take that sewer drain as a new pipe all the way to the tap to the original sewer, which makes the most sense to do that. So that project continues to come along. They're finishing up at Huron in the courtroom and the JP's office. Cabinet guys have come back and started to look really nice over there, and hopefully by the end of this week we'll have some more of that taken care of. That you guys know that next Monday starts the first day of, come on, somebody knows, right? Thank you, right there, I got a winner. Next, so that means that today, this very Tuesday, the 11th of October, is the last day to register to vote. If you're not registered to vote, you need to vote. You need to register today. How do you find out if you're registered to vote? Two easy ways to do it. Number one, pick up the phone, call the elections office. The second is votetexas.org. I believe they have a tool, Am I Registered tool. You can go online, look that up, and find out if you're registered or not. But 5 o'clock today, last day to register, and early vote starts next Tuesday. That being said, early vote is going to take place again in 3 locations in Hill County. We will be at the Huron facility. We'll be at the Hillsborough Fairgrounds down here at the exhibits building, and again in Hubbard. So I know that Aaron Torres and company over elections office are working diligently to get prepared for that. And I know that's a very stressful and tough job in the conditions we find ourselves in nowadays, but they're doing pretty good work. Otherwise, that's kind of where we're at. If you got any other questions about county business, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them. But it's the waste of your morning. I will go ahead and take us on into the next part of our agenda. Is there anybody that wants to speak to the board in open forum this morning? That would be about a matter that's not on the agenda. Once, going twice. Going to go on to the consent agenda then. All right, consent agenda this morning. We have action on minutes, we have action on invoices, action on payroll, and action report of monthly report for revenue disbursement. This is the accounts payable for this date.
Right.
Somewhere a fourth is missing some threes.
We had 2 last packets.
Oh,
we
thank you. Okay.
done this morning. One was utilities and this one on top is, and then Julie sent something also.
I knew a bunch of documentation right before she said.
We were just late trying to get them done for the holiday.
Give me just a second, though. Okay. Good with that. Utilities. Oh, I see something.
So I can understand.
I don't either. It's
If not any questions, I'll make a motion to approve.
we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented and amended. Is there any further discussion? Questions? General commentary? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. I'm going to start passing around these packets with the orders in them. If you put your signatures to them accordingly, I would greatly appreciate it. Please go with that. Just to let you know. All right, moving on to our court orders today. Our first order to discuss and or approve employee wage status changes. Come on in. Oh, my goodness, what have you brought us? You come on up, don't worry, they only bite on Tuesdays.
What?
Come on up, that's for us.
Oh, yes.
Is that the employee wage status changes?
No, this is the AP that needs to get approved today.
Okay. But I love.
But yeah, there wasn't but like one employee.
Yeah, I must have passed it around with the other documents. I wasn't paying attention to what I did here. I thought I saw one. It's just a single sheet.
Or-
Well, two sheets technically, but a single person. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, that's not it. I don't see it. It was in here.
I think that was back.
Oh, yeah, it's a packet, sorry.
That's a credit application. What did I do with it?
Should just been one.
Yeah, I don't know what I did with it though. Shuffled the deck on myself. No, that's RFP. We'll find it, come back there, don't worry about that. What is the amendment we were just handed out there?
Additional invoices. I think the one she sent this morning.
They already had them in there. Okay, good. They're, I had a chance to review it.
I'm not sure. What
Did-
you had brought that, the order.
Yeah, the order and one.
Perfect, all right, and that's what we just approved, is one that came out of the email, so we're good, we're good, all right. Just make sure we're on the same page here. Folks, I can't find this employee wage status change. One of you guys have it in your packet?
No, sir.
No? All right, we're just gonna pass it, we'll come back to it when somebody comes up with it. Number two, discuss an action on requesting proposals to replace the courthouse chillers. So, this is gonna be expensive. Our chillers out there on courthouse, if you guys aren't aware, this system runs with chilled water and boilers. So there's two chillers and one boiler. Boiler is located in the basement. Chillers are located across the street behind rusted chandelier on a small postage stamp side of a piece of property we own. They've been there since we got back in the courthouse. They've got installed in '97 or so. Wonderful, thank you. Found that word. Good job. Anyway, they're coming to the end of their natural life. We've done a considerable amount of maintenance on these machines in the last couple of years. So we thought, I thought I'd just call around and see what they take to replace it, be proactive on things. We've heard earlier, it's things 10, 20 years, 10, 15 years about the life expectancy of an air conditioning system. Then these chillers now have more than 20 on them, 24, 25. Well, I talked to our friends over here at Client. They've been maintaining them for years. I want to see what they've got. They said, look, we have a problem. The units you have are an old style unit. They're going to quit making beginning of next year. They said they still make the unit brand new. But the problem is the new units are bigger and they won't fit on the piece of property we have with them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, and I have a letter from Clyde Refrigeration address. Please find below pricing to replace both courthouse chillers. Replacement units will be the same size and footprint as the existing units. Carrier is phasing these units out and must be ordered before January 1st. The replacement model has a much larger footprint and will not fit in the allocated space we currently have. Lead time from the manufacturer is currently 38 weeks. Price includes labor, crane, electrical, water piping. Energy management company will be responsible for disconnecting, reconnecting building controls. The new units proposal is good for 30 days. So two Carrier 30 RBX0705 package chillers with factory installed hell guards, warranty 5 years of compressors, all parts, 1 year on labor. Total installed price $228,607. Yeah. I was a little shocked at the price tag on this. I know things have gone up, but wow, 228,000.
Second question is, if they quit making them, what about our parts availability in the future?
That's a good question. So one of the things we talked about it, and this is hypothetical, and we haven't reported all of it, but hey, if we replace these two with two just very alike models and there's usable parts in these, can they be salvaged for their parts? And there's a thought. So each side of these chillers, you think it's a big tube, and inside of it, there's coolants and there's a series of coils, 1, 2, 3 coils. And chiller number 1, chiller number 2, they work in tandem, and in August, September, they work together all the time. You can't have one down, you can't get this building below a certain timestamp. Anyway, we've replaced 2 of the 3 coils in chiller 1 last 2 years, forgive me. We've replaced numerous pumps, boards, pieces, sensors. They have so many fail safes on them. They're little plastic vibratory sensors here and there. We're constantly working on those. The main pumps, the water pumps on both got rebuilt this year, one after another. It turned out it had to be done. So just the maintenance continues to go up and up and up. I don't want to tell you that, hey, they won't work next year. I don't believe that. It's just that we need to start making plans to replace these things. And when I found out that, oh, wait a minute, the new models are going to make won't even fit in this footprint of land we have, that provides a big issue, because where the heck do we put the chillers? That's going to be real expensive. We got to pick up property or something, or reroute pipes. So I don't really know what the options here are, but I thought I'd come to you guys and ask, well, can we just request proposals for these chillers and see what's out there and see what the possibilities are? Because we know that Clyde, what our local guys take care of for years, says this is what needs to happen. This is what he can do. But I don't know if there's any newer alternatives. Now, I've heard people say go to traditional style air conditioning in this building. That's not feasible, because the amount of money we spend tearing this building apart, running copper pipes and that kind of wiring, that just wouldn't work. So I think we're kind of stuck with a chiller system. But I need to know if there's any more economical way of doing it than this. And because of the amount, we have to put it out for bid anyway.
You know, if we were to even replace them in the old chiller, you know, like say for replacement parts, Rob, off of that to put on something goes out, where you can store those old chillers
That's a great question. I don't have.
without, you know, sitting out in the weather
They're gonna
and
sit, yeah.
deteriorating. And
Yeah.
that's the other problem. Like somebody may be out there interested in buying them for that reason.
That could be as well. I just
Yeah.
don't know what I don't know.
I can do your own.
I don't know the exact size, but apparently our fence is right on the property line if you don't want to go look. So,
He didn't give you a quote on a new system with a newer, even though it's larger.
no, he didn't, and I didn't ask for it yet. Once I got that, I thought, well, we need to stop and talk to you guys first.
That would be curiosity to see what the difference in the price of the.
No doubt.
The style to the other.
Purchase more land to put a bigger chiller on.
It could very well be. I just don't know the answer to that question.
Well,
City's alleyway, the city street, and the rest of Chandelier's property.
If more.
Brick building.
How much more property would be needed?
I'd have to talk to them, but I don't know the answer to that. They said they wouldn't fit in what they had, but they didn't give me the exact specification.
Yeah. Something we need to find out, but the difference in the price of the new style and the old style, and how much more footage you'd have to store.
That's the reason I'd like to request proposals instead of just request bids, and somebody propose something different or multiple different proposals. I don't want to say this is the one way, it has to be this way. There may be more economical ways of doing this. We look in a different direction. This is sitting in the parking lot on the other side of the street. I don't know the answer to that truthfully. I was under the impression that Rustic Chandelier does, but again, I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, but requesting proposals for this, because here's what I'm concerned about. What if this is the only way to go? We got till January 1. It's October 11th today. I can open proposals in December, you know, and get all the timelines done. And we can take no action too if we find something else. But I'd rather ask you gentlemen today, allow me to go out for requests for proposals on this and this timeline to get some more information about this and what's going to look like. What are the possible ways it could come about?
How much changing would it, you know, the property on the corner where the parking lot is, there's a spot behind those buildings that could be possibly used there.
Well, it'd be
You have to
trenching.
change the underground.
That's the biggest issue about this. I know that we made some choices back in the 90s. I'm not part of those conversations. I'm not familiar with what we did that we did. But we taken already a chill water loss. So a chiller works by taking hot water in, turning it into cold water, pumping it back out in this building. It comes out, should be about 43 to 46 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. Well, that's when it comes out of the chiller, but now it has to travel down an alleyway, underground, across our yard, across the street, across our yard, into the building, and then up. So by the time the water gets in here, you're losing about 10 degrees. It cuts on your efficiency of the system badly. But I don't know how she would do it. That's not my cup of tea. But the return water then goes back across the same route. And so by sending it further than we have to, it's already an expensive proposition energy wise, because you're just losing some efficiencies. Angling it and putting it in a different place, I guess everything's possible. I don't want to say it's impossible. I'm just thinking about how they would do that. And I guess they'd dig a big hole in the yard and have to bore underneath the street, come up over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you double deck?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't, you mean
You put
stack
up a
them?
big heavy
Again,
steel deal and set them on top of the other.
what I would like to do is let the people do this professionally, make proposals to us about what the best way to go is.
Probably the new ones style would be more efficient.
I don't think you can turn them all into there, so
I'll make a motion, Rob.
Second.
appreciate it.
My only concern is if we go with the old system, like Scott said, we get a new system, but it's an old system, we get a new one, then we got problems.
All right, what parts availability? No, I got you, because right now. Parts are difficult to get for most anything. We don't have terrible problems getting parts for this, because it's got some electronics in it, but not as much as the newer stuff. You know, and most of our problems with electronics is trying to get those chips from overseas right now. They're just not showing up for whatever reason. So again, I don't have a preference other than, hey, we need to be responsible with the monies that we allocate towards this project. I need to have an understanding of what this is going to cost and what our possible options are.
We'll take a look at it.
And I want to get it done now before next summer. If that's a possibility. I'm not saying those machines won't work next summer. Guys, we poured a ton of money into them, pre-maintenance before the summer. We still had both those chillers go down at one point during the summer, during August and September, 2 times that we had one. Chiller 1 went down, we got it back up, and chiller 2 went down for different reasons.
Availability of the old chiller is out there. How long for the new
Don't have a good
questions and everything.
correct. A lot of questions need to be answered. So we have a motion and a second to allow the Hill County judge to go out for requests for proposals to replace the chillers in the Hill County courthouse. Is there any other commentary, questions? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. And then our fine people at the county clerk's office here, Mr. Tara Bassett, found our item number 1 for us. And that is approval of employee wage status changes. And that is one, Jalal Jones is going to move on to greener pastures out of jail. So, or I'm sorry, out of the dispatch. So best of luck to them.
Make motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed. Any abstentions, motion carries. Number 3, discussion and approve application for on-site sewage facility permit. There's been a few changes to our permit. We run it through court every time we change it. So what we've done is, if you look down that first page, the authorization to construct the permit will be issued within 30 days. That's to put a timeline. And then on the bottom, you'll see there's a note. It says reinspection fee equal to 1/2. A permit application must be paid each time the system must be reinspected due to disapproval. All fees must be paid to the Hill County Tax Office. And then here's the part that's changed. Tax Office accepts cash, cashier's checks, money orders, Visa, and MasterCard. And then the last change on that first page is at the very bottom where it says revised 09/22. So we know we have the latest and greatest version of it. When you look on the second page of this form, you'll see at the very top, it's changed Jeff Ward's address to 406 Hall Street, Hillsborough, Texas. And then it talks about floodplain permit receipt number. People keep getting confused about your floodplain permit and your receipt number. And then we have a selection of his new construction or replacement system. Again, these have at the bottom the revised 09. They're very simple revisions, but I still believe they need to come through court since we have historically approved it.
Make motion approved.
Motion and second to approve the application for on-site sewage facility permit. Ms. Karen, anything further on that? All right, good deal. Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion will carry. Number 4, discuss and approve credit application to Mike Terry, CDJR. Make sure everything's in here. Mike Terry, this your order?
I think it's a repair constable vehicle.
Oh, constable vehicle. Is that
I think Armstrong.
a Mike Terry?
It's just the.
Car dealership.
Oh, it's in the car dealership. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, change names. All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. All right. Anything else? We have a motion to approve credit application.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right. We have number 5, which is observe and record our Hill County CPS Board Treasurer report for the month of September 2022, month ending September 2022. These folks do just an incredible job for us. Again, total current assets, 53,836.81. And then they had county funds that you could draw on us from $805. The other income they had from the Rainbow Room, $650, public donations of $1,509.69. So total income for the month ending September 30th of $2,964.69. They had expenses for emergency bedding, public events, special emergency housing, a total expense amount of $1,412.19. And so their net income was $1,552.50. And that is the treasurer's report for the Hill County CPS Board for the month ending September 2022.
Thank you, motion approved. Second.
Motion is second to observe and record. Any further discussion? I want to say thank you to those folks for all the work they do. They're volunteers. They do not get paid. And they help out some of the most unfortunate in our county. So we appreciate you. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Any abstentions? Motion carried. Number 6 is discuss and approve and accept a donation for road work on Hill County Road 4109 from Enrique Martinez in the amount of $2,143.
That's the last of the money
Okay.
on the gravel road.
Wow. Good deal.
It's already been accepted.
Motion is second to accept the donation from Enrique Martinez in the amount of $2,143 for road work on Hill County Road 4109. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 7, discuss and approve AirMed Care Network Agreement. Rhonda, what do we got?
This is the agreement that we have with Pyramid and have signed up for the last 2 years, so that employees that are in Whitney or in Hillsborough proper can sign up for Pyramid service.
Which service is it again? I have Airback Life Flight on the Hillsborough. Because that's Airback, so AirMed is Airback. Okay. And then you have Care Flight on the west side of the county. I don't have a problem with it. Those of us that live out in the county, you know, we get covered by ESD too, because the taxes we pay for that, they've made some pretty good deals over the years for us, but if you don't, I could definitely see the need for having it. So I'll make a motion to approve, and then I'll know that this is just if somebody wants to, this is not requiring anybody, it just makes it available to our employees should they want to purchase this.
Chief insurance.
Yeah, well, helicopter ride costs nowadays, it sounds like it'd be real cheap. Okay, so I recommend.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to second to approve the AirMed Care Network Group full membership for Hill County and City. Anything further? Going once, going twice, going to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Look at that one there. We got 2 of those? Interesting. All right. Maybe like the wrong one. I think there's 2 of these. Well, I got the same thing here, but it's different. Yeah. 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 Let's use this one. Yeah. Let's use this one. I either sign it now or I forget about it, so I might as well sign it now. What's that one?
That's approved by the full.
Got it, so. There you go. Here, use this one.
Oh,
This one. See, it is top, the same thing. That's just a copy of it. All right, number 8, discuss and to approve escrow agreement with Longview Creek Ranch. Forgive me for misstating that. Rusty, how are you today? You got the escrow agreement and you're satisfied?
I made revisions to, the agreement is actually not with Long Branch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
LCTXLP or LC.
Oh, boy.
That's the legal.
Well, I'm afraid, I don't think we can take action today because the name we've got is on our agenda. And it's not quite Scrivener's error because we intentionally put that down, but that was saying you're doing business, so I didn't understand they're a different entity.
Well, this is the Long Branch subdivision.
That's true.
Right.
Okay, but you're good. You're not good with it.
We,
What's up?
do we need, is it okay for us to have Long Creek Ranch on the back end?
No.
No,
Because that's what we, that's the only name we've been given.
yeah, that's the same thing here. We didn't know about this other entity. So yeah, if we, so the 2 items regarding this, I say 2 items. No, it's just the one. It's the approve the escrow agreement. If we're fine with it, with the wording, I'm fine with that as well. That's great. And then, but yeah, the bank account is gonna have to be, you're right, under the, whatever legal entity's name is. So you've got,
Am I correct in that?
Yes, it's LLC, LLC, TXLP,
okay,
is they, that's doing the subdivision. Right, so the account needs to be opened up under the LLC also.
okay.
I think that'd be the legal way. And I think this is our last step as far as,
Going to a final plat, yeah, once we have this up and funded, we have confirmation of that, we're comfortable that we can move to a final plat. That final plat went through our review committee. Things run together, I can't remember last week, the week before, but it's been through recently, and it's, yeah, I'm getting a nod from Karen back there. She paid attention.
would the court consider a conditional approval of our final plat based on this getting put in place?
No, I can't because I don't have it on my agenda to do it, so, but we got a next meeting, it'll be there. It's just a matter of, if we've got to have this done first. So. I mean, if everybody's okay with the wording, I'll go ahead and make a recommendation. We've done this with Mr. Simmons a couple times in the past. It's worked out. He's always been above board with things. We're not asking for any leeway here. The fact of the matter is, you're gonna put an escrow amount up. We've got the engineer's estimate. We know what that amount is. It goes in there. Once that's funded, we can go to the final plat. Once the final plat is approved, and you guys can start doing what you need to do. So I'm copacetic with that. Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve an escrow agreement as presented by County Attorney Holmes with Longview Creek Ranch, for the Long Creek Ranch subdivision, and with, what's the name of the entity again?
LCTXLP.
LCTX LP LLC. You listen to it again. You'll be in my office and going, what did you say? Yes, LLC.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstention? That's terrible. You leave her alone. Number 9, discussion and approve a lease agreement for replacement copier for the county attorney's office.
If you would take that, I don't have it. They put district attorney's office on the agreement, so I haven't changed that.
I saw that. I didn't know that everything up there or.
Well, I think it's part of it as well, and so.
Obviously, what the building, we got it. All right.
I just want to have my, but
Maybe Mark wouldn't mind paying for it. Let me ask him afterwards.
that'd be just fine.
Well, is that the only issue with it, is just the name?
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, can I ask for your approval contingent upon the change of the name? It says Hill County District Attorney right now. It needs to see Hill County Attorney. So if I can get your approval on this now, contingent upon that change, once they send the corrected paperwork, I can just sign it and get his copier hopefully coming to you. You know, we had some issues with copiers earlier this year. We had to, 6 months out. Okay, so motion second, to approve a copier, a lease agreement for replacement copier in the county's attorney's office and give the county judge the authority to sign the final lease agreement upon the change of the full legal name of the Cook County.
That was the TWP or.
Yeah, no,
I'm doing this.
yeah.
This is with Southwest Office.
How many copiers do we have, Lee?
Woo. A lot. I don't know the exact number, to be honest with you. Susan, how many copiers do you think we have at least?
Some way we could get a master lease and say.
Well, I don't, yeah, it's worth looking at. You know, we talked a couple of years ago about putting a copier like in one mill room in the courthouse, for lack of a better set of words. And trying to maybe put the color copier down there and save money by going all black and whites. But then most of these people that have copiers now, like copier, not just a copier, it's your fax machine, your high-speed scanner. It replaces 2-3 other pieces of equipment in your office. So we kind of backed away from that concept that, hey, we'll just go to one major one because we don't have to buy fax machines anymore. It's amazing that people still send us fax. And we don't have to buy these high-speed production scanners that we used to have to buy that were buku expensive. And we're down to just copiers, so.
What would you spend most of the time going up and down that elevator instead?
Yeah, could be, I know my wife has done a good bit of time.
Get lost.
Wouldn't hurt me any, but you know.
Some of them also, my office, the office, the sheriff's office, we're going to think about it. Can't make it available to everybody else.
Because, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, these things have hard drives in them, just like a computer does. And it's one of the things when we get rid of a copier, we pull a hard drive out and destroy it.
So, like Martin said, though, can we go out for proposals or bids?
Cover the whole courthouse?
The whole courthouse from one company?
We could try.
I
Yeah.
don't know, are the copiers coming from one company,
No,
half a dozen companies?
about 4. Little CDWP, SOS, Xerox, and there's another one we used to use. I haven't seen them in a while. They'll come to me in a minute.
Just
Yeah, we put it in everybody's budget for these copiers individually, but I get what you're saying. So you want me to form a committee? Which one of you guys will do the committee on this?
also, right.
Oh, I know. Oh, excuse me. I have one.
This is a good one.
All right, well, the question in front of us is the question of approving this lease agreement contingent upon the change of the name on it. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 10, review and approve residential contracts and interagency agreements for juvenile probation department. Chief Lincoln's with us this morning, and she has before us, well, you go ahead.
Sure. This is just a continuation of all of the contracts and interlocal agreements that we have. When we came to Commissioner's Court before, we didn't have all the contracts back in hand. And so this just continues to add to our list of facilities that we work with, that we contract with. I do want to highlight one agreement that we have with Johnson County. Johnson County actually has the ability to prepay beds. So they have 4 prepaid beds at Lake Granbury. We also contract with Lake Granbury, but we can never get a bed there. So we actually have an MOU with Johnson County that if they have one of their contract beds open, that we're allowed to use that through an agreement. So that's been really incredible.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
What does that contract bed cost them, the prepayment?
It's $220 a day
Okay.
per bed per day.
And so do they pay that like for 365 days a year up front? And we just, all right, so whether they're using it or not, they gotta pay it.
They're paying it no matter what. So it's really a win-win for both Hill and Johnson County because they're getting some of that money back that they're spending. But for us, it opens up and it has been remarkable. We had 3 kids just this last month that were in Lake Granbury under one of their beds.
Oh, wow.
So it just tells you that agreement and arrangement's been working super well. So
$50 a piece per kid per day.
per day, yeah,
$660 a day.
yes, sir,
And they're what, 200 something in Lubbock?
yes.
So we're paying.
At least, yeah, we're minimally, now we're almost up to $200 per day with both facilities. just for detention beds. So we do have, and I know I shared this with you guys before, in the North Texas region, we have an agreement with Grayson County where we have 2 prepaid beds. We're actually doing that quarterly. So I've had a juvenile in detention in Grayson County since the 17th of September, and I'm not having to pay a dime for that bed. That actually is coming from state dollars and an agreement through our North Texas region. So we've really gotten super creative in how to try to save money, but it's crazy the costs that we are now having to pay just for one day for a juvenile detention.
We think Johnson County went up from last time we did this contract in 21 from 155 to 220 this year.
Yes.
So,
And it's the facilities that are pushing that. Johnson County is not charging us any additional. It's literally the facilities across the state have all increased their cost.
yeah, if you look through these contracts, you'll see that it used to be 140 to 155 a day, now 200.
Pretty significant.
Well, after watching this debate the other day, the governor was talking about he was gonna put all this extra money into that. Is that gonna make a difference, or is that just for the?
They'd start funding
They
it.
can throw money at it,
Huh?
they can throw money at it, but the issue with these big cities right now, they just can't make it work.
Yeah, nobody wants to work with
It's
it.
staffed and shit. And at my annual conference a couple of weeks ago, when they were on juvenile law, we're all in the same, all these counties are in the same boat. Nobody can find beds to do that.
No,
If you don't have your own.
yeah. I'm out there, but
We're partnering with some other counties.
I agree with that, and then some conversations are starting to take place at the COG level, and I'd like to see what we can possibly do. Again, that's just conversations that are just starting, no plans, or nothing, not even understanding who all the players need to be at. But I agree, we're gonna have to do something regional to make it work.
Yeah, and there's conversations from the TJ Davie perspective too, talking about that regionalization concept. That's why we work so closely with our North Texas region. It's kind of ironic. I'm in the COG area, the heart of Texas, but for juvenile probation, I'm actually in the North Texas region, which has been for me a huge advantage. Because I really get to utilize both resources. But I do, one thing that is coming out of this legislative session that I'm really hopeful for is we've actually been allowed to have conversations with the LBB. And I'm hoping that from that conversation, they realize that we handle 98% of the juvenile justice system on the front end. And so they need to fund us for the work and services that we're doing. They've continued to cut us for years. But we've actually had literally conversations with members of LBB. And so I'm really super excited to have that opportunity. We've not had that opportunity in the past. So I may ask for letters of support from everybody in our community just to show the level of work that we're doing. But I think that we're making some headway, and it's been a long time coming. So
Good. Very good. Questions about these particular contracts in front of us? Motion and second, thank you. They're needed, guys. There's just stuff I don't want to talk about in this courtroom that happens. These aren't petty thefts. These are not beating up somebody. These are some heinous crimes that kids this level are committing. And it's not safe to have them on the street. I know we talk about the expense of housing them, but vice versa. What is the expense to our community of leaving them out there? And I think that's much greater if we did that than this. So I appreciate your vote and your second, and I'll call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions?
I do think that
Motion carries.
the population should know that.
I think it's really a cost of the work.
Yeah. Three.
Because there's nothing in that area, and some contracts are very vital to get law enforcement.
Okay.
But it's a time that it does, what's 7 hours ago. You have
Six.
on custody, you have to stop some operation. I mean, it's an issue.
Yeah.
Ms. Lynn, what does that juvenile facility on Golden Road, in West, what role does that play in the juvenile justice system for us?
Well, the secure facility in Waco, in Plenty County, they will not contract outside of the Plenty County. So ideally, that would be a wonderful partnership. We have tried it for years. I know that I've talked about it, Judge Lewis has talked about it with their judges. But because of liability, they're not.
I know a little bit about this, Yeah, it's called,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's an independent facility.
We currently don't contract. Various.
Yeah.
yeah, I call
Yeah, you can.
So how much of that $800, $1,000 a day, you can't like?
What, the 220?
Yeah.
Oh, depends on the time of year. He wants to know how much of that $1,000 a day are we paying, $220 a day, how much is out of the county's pocket?
So the way that I have the budget set is, apparently all of our salaries are paid through state dollars. And so through the Keefe County fund that you guys provide each year, that's where all of that money comes from. What we've been doing, and Susan can talk a little bit more about this, is I don't expend all of my placement dollars or whatever dollars are there in the state budget. We will deplete the state budget completely, and we have the ability to now do that. You know, years past, we weren't allowed to switch categories, but we now can switch categories. So when we close out our year, we usually try to close every state account out with zero. And that's why I've not been in a deficit for years. And the only reason one time I had asked for more money was the one year that we had just that crazy explosion, you know, 85,000 plus.
Yeah.
But now normally we're able to carry over dollars, and then we just continue to use that for detention. Because we by far exceed our detention budget every year. But I'm able to just use those dollars that we carry over in the local funds.
Well, I think the police reporter will let people know, because they're always worried about the taxes they pay, that know the county is paying right now, right at $1,000 a day to house those kids.
Yeah,
I think the taxpayers don't realize is all they think is we're not patching the road with all of them.
yeah, you guys get a fraction of what we actually take, so, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's an important part. It's another one of those mandates that we have to enforce state law, but then we're required to pay for a portion of that, if not all of it sometimes. Yeah.
And that doesn't include the cost to, when the sheriff's office transports for us, when guards transports for us, when we're having to go on a 6-hour trip, that's 2 staff members out of the office for the full day. So all the costs that are accrued with that are really significant because we're a small county. And I also want to say, too, we've begun to really access the services of the county. We've not had the IT support in the past that we're having now. And I can call them and get any support. We just got new equipment for my classroom. I'm getting new cameras for my entire facility in the classroom. And that's all because of working directly with Philip and his team. And some of that money does come out of my budget. But again, that's going to be county dollars because that's tuition money, which we get from the school district's budget. So, I mean, all that we're doing is it costs a significant amount to do juvenile justice for sure. But y'all have always been really supportive, and I'm beyond appreciative for that. Because David can attest to it after going to the other, and some of the other counties do not operate the way that we do from a partnership level. So it's pretty incredible.
All right. Yeah, we did.
But now, everybody just runs in the county taxes.
Well, I'm not gonna hold my breath. I've heard that story before. We'll see how that works.
Well, how much does the state take in property taxes?
Well,
Can you find that on your tax statement?
I can tell you, yes, again, it's a big zero. They take no property taxes. They just give us new mandates and new regulations, and for a small government, they sure act like a big one. Tell us how to do things and force us to spend monies that we wouldn't need to spend at this level, so. Anyway, so let me we have a question on this, and all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. That moves us on to the number 11, which is observe and record the annual salary of Assistant County Auditor, Hill County, Texas. I want to welcome aboard Mrs. Crystal Pashowski, our new Assistant County Auditor. Susan, you will make the introductions?
This is Crystal Pashowski, and she'll be doing the purchase orders for us and insuring your vehicles, of course, reviewing deals and helping us out in the auditor's office. She's the purchase assistant. You need assistance. She currently lives in Bynum and worked in Tarrant County in the utility district, or I don't know.
Denton County Transportation Authority in Denton County?
You didn't track while living here in your community?
No,
Oh,
no, 10 years previous.
okay.
And I'm on city council.
Good deal. Wonderful. Welcome aboard, Crystal. Appreciate having you with us. Good deal. I'll make a motion. We observe and record the administrative order from the 66th District Court appointing Crystal Pachowski as Assistant County Auditor of Hill County, Texas. Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 12, discuss and approve amending the request for proposals to sell real property located at 200 East Franklin Street, Hillsborough, Texas. Guys, I reread that statute and I need to push back the timeline. I need more time to advertise. It's not like typical selling things when you go into real property under 262, 263 of the local government code. You got an extra week in there. Should have read the statute first. So that being said, when our current due date is let me look. I'm trying to get my calendar over here. I'm not having any success. There we go. Nope, that's calendar. So I believe the current due date on this thing is going to be the 20th of October, 27th of October.
27.
I think it was 27th. I want to push it out to November now. What that allows me to do is get the stuff in the paper that needs to be in the paper, the time needs to be there. So that means it can run the second time. The big catch here is this language. It has to run the paper no less than twice, but the second time has to be at least 14 days before the bid opening on the sealed bid procedure in 263. So the problem I got is I don't have 14 days, so I need to push that out. So that 14-day mark. What I'd like to do is today is the 11th, and let's say hypothetically it advertises next week and the 20, and it comes out on the 24th again. So then I would need those bids to be due by November 10th to be action taken on at, I'm sorry. No, well, it's not a regular, it doesn't have to be. I can call a special meeting on the 15th. It's going to fall. I'm trying to do it quickly. What do you think if you put that at 22nd?
The 22nd.
Pretty far out. I mean, I could have a special meeting on the 15th, but I have to hold it for that, because the way it falls, the 8th is the second Tuesday, and the 22nd is the fourth Tuesday. I'm just hesitant to add an extra week, but I need to.
Well, we just extended that extra ring for 30 days only, and I think we second past that.
So
I bet we find out stuff.
I imagine you're right. So let's have the bids come back in on the 11th, Friday, the 11th, and we'll take action on the 15th. And that will be any time to do it. We'll have a special call meeting the 15th.
Like most of
Okay, so we're gonna put down here that we're going to bids due. All right, so I'm recommending the bid. Oh, hey, yeah, the 11th. No, you're 100% correct. That is the holiday.
Our holiday?
On the 14th? No, I got it.
No, I think. Right.
Well,
The holiday's on the 11th, so
Yeah.
on.
That's what I'm saying. We have the bids due on the 11th. I need to back the bids up. We do it 10th.
Yeah.
So that'd be 11:10 at 3 p.m. And then we'll open them at 3:15 on 11:10. And then we'll take action on 11:15. Does that sound right? Okay, good. That's my motion. Second stand.
Yes.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 13, discuss and or action on the allocation of CAR to the Hill County Sheriff's Department to the Hill County Emergency Management. You know that we moved one of their employees to the new radio administrator position. And the chief deputy has made a car available out of the sheriff's allotment of cars. What's the unit number on that? 204. It was a yeah, yes. 204. It was an administrative car to work well for what we're doing, what we need to do, and it keeps his marked unit in service. So I just want to let everybody know they did that, so we can take action on it. We'll just move it on the inventory sheet accordingly. So that's nothing really spectacular there, but again, out of total transparency, what we're up to. Motion is second to allocate unit 204 from the Hill County Sheriff's Department to the Hill County Emergency Management Office. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. Number 14, discussion of action, Hill County Sheriff's Office to secure the replacement Tahoe PPV that replaced Unit 204 that went to emergency management. So they're having issues getting vehicles, as we've noticed, and you order one today, I don't know when it's gonna come in. I'll be left for you. I was gonna ask, Cordell how much to get that truck we finally got. What? It's not long enough. What you got?
Well, we actually, not just very much caps, they were able to, the agency back out on, 2022, PPV Tahoe. It's the same color that we get white. So for the vehicle itself is 43,729. And the upfit is 16,000. Not going all out on the upfit.
And by upfit, that means cage, lights, sirens, you name it.
Yeah, it's the upfit is 16,490. So total cost is 60,219.
Okay.
And that would be through Caldwell. What we'd like to do is take that money that you were gonna pay us for the one that we gave.
Yeah, is that the one that we got the bid on 204, or did he send a different one to get the bid on?
No, that was.
Okay.
2019. We talked about that. What we'd like to do is put that money, that funds, towards this vehicle. We blew a transmission on.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that one.
Right after we gave him that one. And fortunately, we were able to get a replacement, from the Chevy house up in Apache, so that vehicle was already back. With a new transmission.
Very good.
I'll make a motion.
So this,
We'd like to get a PO.
the one that we're replacing, how many miles did it have on it?
No, the 204 unit, I don't know exactly. Somewhere in the 40 neighborhoods, what I'm told, but I don't know the exact amount.
41.
41? Okay.
We gave 30,000 for it.
Well, that's what they said, that they took pictures and sent it to somebody and got a bid that they'd give them 30,000 for it, but I presume that's correct. Does that sound high to you?
I don't know, just wanted to be a better deal if we bought a new vehicle and let them keep the one they got.
I couldn't find one. They found one. I couldn't find one.
That's just a question.
No, understood.
We got 60 grand on the move.
Well, we don't have to outfit it like they do. They would save you 16,000 right there.
Well, 204, I believe, is outfitted.
Yes, this.
It is. What else it got in it? It's got a cage?
Now we didn't put cage in because of.
Okay, so it doesn't have a cage.
Saving the cage for mine, ready to hit mine.
Gotcha. Well, that's a thought.
Just kicking numbers.
It's still gonna be out.
There's a minimum.
Yeah, you need
Nothing's cheap, I understand that.
to still gonna be out because you're gonna do it one or the other.
There's a minimum, just bring this up, so there's a minimum upfit of 15,000, because we're not getting that vehicle from a dealer that actually is going to buy the upfit.
That's how you're able to find a vehicle. So it's not coming from a dealer. It's coming from somebody who bought it to upfit it,
Correct.
and then somebody backed away from it.
If we wanted to just buy it out, right? But there's a 15,000.
Okay.
Either way, it's not any cheaper. That's about what we've been paying, honestly, for Tahoe's right around 6,000 upfitted.
But either way,
Yeah.
Then we have to wait, we don't know what it's. But we've got to get all the. So.
Okay.
We call it favors to try to get it put to the front of the line. See.
Do you have the remaining dollar amount in your budget to pay for this vehicle?
Well, we didn't anticipate this, but yeah, we should be. able to make that happen. Yes. Right, because we're at least like the others. Okay.
Cool, satisfied? All right. We have a motion and a second on the issue under discussion at the moment, which is to secure an additional Tahoe PPV police pursuit vehicle that replaced the unit that went to emergency management. You've heard the discussion of motion. Is there any further commentary, questions? All right, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 15, discuss interaction on request for proposals for inmate medical services. Gentlemen, we've already gone out for the proposal, but I have to get you the written document. It's 90% complete. I just wanted to ship the form around to you. This will be the basics of this, so everybody knows you're looking for it. This is RFP number 9 for this year. Due date is December 1st, 2022 by 3 p.m. You go on into it. We've taken proposals from what we did previously. We've gone out to other cities that have been successful, other counties that have been successful in jail proposals, talked to those folks. We've been sitting in the jail for the last couple of weeks. We've been there once or twice now, just observing how the current provider works and what we think might be good, what might not, taking advice and input from the folks in the jail on what works and what doesn't work, and trying to mold all that into a statement and what we think we need to cover. So we have the issue date on this will be today, the 11th. Proposals, questions will be due by the 25th day of November at 5 p.m. There's questions on this, and then proposals will be due December 1st at 3 p.m. and be open at 3:15. And we'll possibly take action on them at the next regular scheduled meeting, which is the following Tuesday, I believe. It'll take a little time to go through this. If you recall, the last time we did this, these are not apples to apples comparisons, and you get these things back, they're all over the board. So what we'll have to do is sit down with the committee, and we'll appoint a committee to sit down and go through these things and try to figure out, okay, what's the best. Then when we figured out who we might like to do business with, have them come in a short list of folks, figure out the top 3, have them come in, do interviews, make sure that we're getting what we think we're getting and what we know we need. So, but I just needed to put all this in writing, and since I'm the guy around here who has to write the RFPs, it took me a little bit, but there you go. And then I want to give a lot of thanks to April Cook. She did the lion's share of the work and the research for me up front. So I appreciate that. I still need to add some legal documents to the back of this RFP, the 579 affidavit, the what's the one for the contract? It's 4 digits. Well, thank you, ma'am. I got to add that, the conflict of interest forms, but again, it's about 6 pages of pretty much boilerplate that goes in all of our RFPs. But this is the RFP as amended, and I'm requesting that you gentlemen approve it so that I can put it on the website and send it out to the world.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve the form and RFP for inmate medical services. Any further discussion? This is a topic I now know way more than I ever wanted to know about, but it is
in-house medical over people.
Yeah, it's just so stinking expensive. And what we're getting right now, I don't think is what we thought we were getting. And I'm not here to bash anybody. I just, once we got down and get down into it, the problems with it, they're still counting for things by hand. Instead of using the computer system we've been paying for. So I'm not getting down on these folks. It's just the cost is going up exponentially. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention the name over open for it, but the cost on this continues to go up exponentially all the time. It's what used to be, there's a cost pool of 50,000 and we shared these costs with them and we got some money back. That ain't happened in a couple of years. Now it really seems like we're paying more and more in because they don't allocate what they should to those cost pools, and then they play games with us when we're trying to get information regarding, well, what was the actual expenditures. And I tasked April Cook downstairs in Indigent Health to tackle this contract. She's very articulate with those kind of things. And that's where that money comes out of her budget anyway to pay for the jail health care. So that's the reason she's involved. And what we're finding is we're not happy with what we're finding.
So we're going to have a job description.
Oh, yeah. So in here, let's talk about this request for proposals. Since we got the motion in second, first, we're talking about the proposal, pricing, how to submit, all our important dates, any questions who they're going to. And then we define things, everything sheriff's office, jail provider, pre-proposal conference. If they want one, we can schedule that. We're talking about the facilities, a 203 bed located at 406 Hall Street. We give them historical data on inmate population, both our bookings and our average daily. Our jail medical budget currently, it's last contracted at $366,241.92. I remember when that used to be like $220,000. Minimal qualifications that we put on these, people got to be licensed, they got to have experience, they can't just be fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing. You have some minimal insurance liabilities, and then the scope and medical and care and services sought. Hill County is seeking medical service provider partner who will offer quality health services and related administrative services for county inmates. The medical services provider shall be responsible for hiring, employing, and supervising all persons necessary for providing the required medical care. By the term medical care, Hill County refers to the treatment and management of physical and mental, psychiatric and psychological well-being of inmates through services offered by medical, nursing, and health professionals. Hill County is willing to accept alternate recommendations based on experience in correctional healthcare settings. So that's summing up 21 pages right there. That's what I'm trying to do for you. We go into detail in this thing about what we're looking at, what we're looking for. But, you know, we're looking for a health services plan that, you know, it provides procedures for regular sick calls, referral for medical, mental, and dental services, acute and emergency situations, long-term convalescent care necessary for disabled inmates, control distribution, secured storage, inventory, disposal of prescriptions, syringes, needles, and hazardous waste containers, distribution of prescriptions in accordance with written instructions, position to an appropriate person designated by the sheriff or the operator who would be the party in contact with, the controlled distribution and security of over-the-counter medications, the rights of inmates to refuse health care in accordance with informed consent standards, all examination and treatments should be performed in a reasonable, dignified manner in place, and available adequate first aid equipment, and patient evacuation equipment on hand at all times. Talks about taking health records, intake screening, huge for us nowadays. We get people in the jail that seem to be sicker than they've ever been in the past, and we really need to know what we're dealing with up front before the problem is big, because we have a mandate from the state of Texas to do this, and they don't pay us a single dollar. So they're not going to cut your taxes here. They just put more restricted requirements on us, which costs us, you, the local taxpayer, more money each year.
So what do we pay last?
$336,000, almost $337,000. That was the contract price. We actually, there's some caveats in there on that pool. We may have made some additional payments. I think we made additional payments over and above that. Yeah.
Plus, we've already gone over the prescription limit and it's, I don't know. It's just.
It's over my money. We've got to do something to get this under control. Yeah, oh, easily, if not more.
Yeah, we budgeted for next year, 425,000.
So we got to see what's out there. Anyway, this is, you know, a pretty comprehensive document. Again, I am not a physician. I don't run a jail. I'm trying to get something out there to improve upon the last time we did this, which was not very good at all. And we want to go currently has. Any other questions about the RFP before I call it? Good one, ask. You go ahead and yell. I'll let you battle the governor for it.
Yeah.
Can be, I mean, that's an option if they offer it. I don't, are we going to require telehealth to be part of the proposal? I don't think we're requiring it because we just really don't know what that looks like. I don't know. There's so many unknowns to me in this. Okay, I'm building this airplane while I'm trying to fly it. Is that acceptable to the Maintenance Commission? Straight telehealth. I mean, no, I don't think that would be. But can a telehealth component be part of an overall end? I think yes. The answer to that question is yes. Again, it comes down to a lot of things that I don't know about. We're just trying to navigate our way through this world. So
is there a nurse over there? 24?
Yes, sir. Oh, no. 12 hours a day right now. They want to go to 16 hours. That's one of the things that really brought this work. But that's just cost prohibitive, man. That's in the rep our budgets. I don't. LVNs. As far as I can tell, women sits there all day and puts pills in the blister packs. That's their job.
Even at that cost, she has done a great job
Good.
in the healthcare.
Oh, but Mrs. Cook, the contract that we're in is not her fault. She has done a good job picking that up and trying to figure out what we can do to get better. And I think having a lot of people in on this, a lot more eyes on like this is going to be. We have the opportunity to do way better than it's done last time.
And is there gonna be options for, we discussed the reason we ever started with them, I thought in the first place, was to get away from the jailers putting the medicine in their
Correct, and we have already heard from one, we've been talking to people, and I don't remember the name of this company, but that's one that said, well, why are you guys doing it that way? We could train the jailers to do it. And you propose what you want to propose, we'll see if that's reasonable or rational, if that can be done. I don't. Well, I mean, we got away from it originally because we didn't think it's a good idea, no doubt.
I worked into. In past that man, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think you guys had any training on it either, I mean.
No.
So, yeah, and I'm not advocating we're in that business.
I think I need to be here today.
And I think that's wonderful. I'd love to have them bid on it too. I mean, we want to leave it open for anybody that's interested to do it and bid on it. They're a great community partner. I think it'd be wonderful if they put their bid as well. But again, there's just so many unknowns to me as to what this looks like at the end of the day. Is it something that the sheriff is comfortable with, training people to put bills? I bet probably not, but maybe so. I don't know that. So that's a possibility, but maybe it's not a possibility.
I do.
Not into it, Sheriff? Yeah, we'll see. So that one's not one I think is feasible. We could be. Yeah. So the deal though is, on my other hand, is we're gonna have to train your jailers on some of this stuff because looking right now, if this Southern Hill Partners indication, going 16 hours a day on a nurse is just gonna be cost prohibitive, guys. That's never happened in that jail in all these years, and now suddenly we got to go to it. That's one of those things we need to look around and see why is that suddenly come up, that we need to do that as well. So there's a lot of things going on here at the same time. I think we put this proposal up, we'll see what comes back. We find the three we like the best and negotiate with them and interview them and see what will work and what won't. But I think it will take a lot of people to sit down in the same room to understand all the facets, because what you guys do is the important part. You operate the jail. That's on this end, we operate the budget, and somewhere in the middle of the two of it, we've got to meet and understand the reality of it. So
Motion to go out.
I think we have a motion in a second.
Just waiting on the vote.
Oh, forgive me, I'm talking. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
The two different ERs that we have here besides the hospital ER, is that something that?
Oh, the urgent care. The urgent care.
Urgent care or ER, whatever they call them.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I'm not, if they threw in a bid, great, but there's a lot of requirements you got to meet to work in a jail. There's some pretty stringent standards. And if we pick the wrong person to go in there.
I was just thinking, when we have to take somebody to the ER, would they be a cheaper way to go than going to the hospital ER?
Man, you're getting in trouble in here. Well, my experience is either one I've gone to, they referred me to the hospital ER. So I don't think you're saving any money if you stop there first and go to the hospital ER second. So I'm gonna leave my comments at that.
Yeah.
You got anything else? You can talk to him or something. I'm not. Yeah. I ain't saving no money if I'm going there first in the ER second. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, gentlemen. Number 16, discuss and approve purchase hardware and interfaces for the 800 megahertz radio system. I hope I can tell you this is the last time I'm coming in for money on the radio system. We knew that going through this process, it was large, and that's the reason we have a person that's dedicated to operating it. He's getting a lot of help right now. Everybody's understanding it. But we did find one thing that we overlooked up front, and that is something very important. All radio calls that come into our dispatch system are recorded right now. They have to be recorded. You've got to have that in the courtroom at a later date. It's a quality control for the sheriff's department. It's accountability for the county. That being said, the old system will not interface with the new. The old digital system, the new is going to be an 800 megahertz. We need to buy the interface that goes to the 800 megahertz system from, it's got two names, Vista, and then
Those same company, just the call and Eventide.
Eventide.
They are the same company.
Okay.
They do business with us on the just.
And
And
then,
it's the digital interface. It's not. It hasn't got anything to do with 800 versus VHF.
okay, explain it.
We're going to a completely digitized system. You have to have the interface from the Vistacom recording equipment that interfaces with that Harris. That complex network of that puts that system together. And this is a one-time cost. It's you gotta have the hardware to make it work.
$44,000. No, it's not done yet. The other thing that's on this agenda item too is we need additional radios. We need 4 more radios. So to get those 4 more radios, that's gonna be another $12,000.
What was the company that sold us these radios?
L3 Harris, Dailywell is his name.
They was.
And we still have the same price because we contracted up front over a period of years, we buy X number of radios.
Yes.
So we have a lower price.
Going back to the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Shouldn't they have known our system and what we were looking for?
Well, they were selling us radio system. And we dealt with them with the radio system. It was just overlooked. We already had a recording system. It's just, we had no idea the interface would be that expensive. The licenses for each channel are relatively cheap. It's just. Visticom is apparently very proud of that interface. And it would be cost prohibitive to go out and go to another vendor, because then we would have to not just move recording for that, we'd have to do it for the entire system.
So I was just curious. They came in and reviewed what we needed. And did they overlook it or did we overlook it?
No, I'm pretty certain it's on us. That's on us.
Where we got that, so
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
And my hope is this is the last time I come back to you gentlemen with anything like this. And again, I wouldn't if I didn't think it necessary. This system, when it's up and running, and I mean, next month, it's going to be the biggest improvement in public safety that we've seen in decades in this county. It's really going to change a lot of people. Appreciate Sheriff Department, all they put into it. Tom Hemrick and his people have been amazing. Philip Cantrell over in IT. It has been a group effort among every department this is going to touch around here, trying to get this together. So we'd love to show it off to you guys when you get a chance, come see. Like literally, it's up and running at the moment. We just can't broadcast because we don't have the FCC license in yet. And that's just.
When I dispatched, you couldn't hear the deputy, he was trying to do something. Repeat the last track.
Oh, the Untitled system, yeah.
You've got that capability, even in the selling software. And that, we've got the upgrade to the selling software to a cog. And they will be here tomorrow. Start the process of building out that new part. That's we'll go over that. It's gonna, dispatching, it's gonna be it's you know, this screen and what they're used to seeing is totally different. So there's gonna be a learning curve, not only for dispatch, for every operator. Anybody that's been on that 800 system, you get the radio, you have to wait, you get that tone that it's your tap.
And by the way, you talking a minute, 10 minutes?
Milliseconds.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, it's. But again, we have an issue where people start talking as they're keying the mic. And that's got to train yourself to wait for that feedback from the key.
The reach of this system is beyond what we've had in the past. You know, we've always had black holes, dark spots, areas of no service in Mill County. This is pretty much going to eradicate that.
Well, I can tell you right now, the system itself is 100% functional on the digital side. I have the radio system interface on my phone. And from anywhere in the world, I can push this button and talk when it's connected to dispatch to dispatch. All the radios.
Oh, yeah, no, you won't be seeing me ask you for radio. You know, I have a walkie-talkie or a handheld radio I've had for decades now. Anyway, because we have to pay attention to what's going on in this county, and many times I've had to use it. That won't be the case in the future. For me, talking goodness, it'll be an app and allow me to talk with dispatch, talk with Tom, any talk groups we may set up inside of it. All in this.
Radios.
That's not a good idea for your standard officer, though, okay? That works good for me because I use it every so often, but for your officer, this won't work.
On the street, they need a radio, they can keep it. The good thing about the radio system is most every car has a Wi-Fi network in their car. The radios have the ability to connect to that Wi-Fi network. So basically anywhere that radio is, it has a Wi-Fi connection. If it can't connect over the air, it will use that Wi-Fi connection We're not talking about a long period of time, we're talking milliseconds. We're able to connect over on the digital side or over the Wi-Fi. So there should be nowhere in our hand that we don't have.
Great.
We're looking at pages of non-departmental capital outlay and
Yes, ma'am.
try to encumber it. And
Yes, ma'am. Good questions, good conversation, guys. I mean, public needs to know what we're doing and why we're doing it, so. It's not been a cheap project at all, but remember, most every radio project we've done prior to this has been grant funded. We've had grant money for years, grants to build towers, grants to buy radios, grants to improve repeaters, grants to do this, grants to do that, and this is the first time we're paying for a whole new system out of pocket. It ain't cheap, but we are the last link on 35 between Red River and San Antonio, as I understand it. It's not on an 800 megahertz system. And the more times that we have people coming into this county from out of county doing bad things and trying to coordinate with our local partners in other counties, this becomes more and more necessary. So I appreciate it.
Fatality last month, and both of them came to our county and ended in a fatality. One, the guy shot himself, the other one shot the person in the car with, both of them came straight to our county.
And our difficulty communicating with those partners outside of our county when they show up, and we can't coordinate car to car, it's tough. Anyway, all right, well, gentlemen, I thank you for that, and I ask for your vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 17, we have plats that everybody loves. Discussion and action on preliminary plat for Houghton Acres. This is a 2-lot plat that's going on FM 2960 in Prairie Valley. It has been through the review committee and has been forwarded for your approval as a preliminary plat. Motion and a second to approve preliminary plat for Houghton Acres. Call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 18 is discuss and approve preliminary plat for Barron Square Edition. Barron Square Edition. Again, this is another preliminary plat. And Barron Square is going to be a multiple track that is going to be down here off of FM Highway 2114 in precinct 3. I believe that, yeah, in County Road 3308. We've gone through this plat. It has the necessary paperwork, as you can see a pile of it. And it is recommended for approval of a preliminary plat today. Motion is second to approve a preliminary plat on Barron Square Edition. Any further commentary? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions? Motion carries. And number 19.
If there is no revisions that are needed, I already turned in the final plat. Can that be signed today?
No,
No.
it's not on my agenda, so it ain't getting signed today. Thank you very much. All right, number 18, discuss and approve final plat for the Bones Edition. This is one that we previously approved at a previous meeting. And so we have the application. This again is off County Road 2117, which is down in the Prairie Valley area. That you notice a trend here, kind of growing down there. Yeah. Caroline Road, there you go. Anyway, and its final plat is recommended for your approval after review from the plat committee.
Make a motion for.
Motion is second to approve. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Wonderful. Commission?
Make a motion, adjourn.
Motion second.